but I wonder if that is a reference to the 9 Omuan gods who are buried here, because 3 plus 3 plus 3 is 9. And I can't think of anything else that really fits that.
Unless it references the order of something, like 3 first, then 3 more, then 3 more.
I mean, it would have to be something we haven't found, because there's
There
nothing,
are
it's
the
not like the
three.
traditional riddle where you have a definite answer. I think it's too open-ended, which makes me think that that the 9 could be connected to the 9 Omun gods, because I don't think we've seen that 9 anywhere else. We found 7 of their tombs, I believe.
I'm not saying that you're wrong because we don't really know, but there is the 3 gargoyle statues down at the bottom of the long spiral staircase. And I'm wondering if
There are 4, by the way. There are not 3. There's 4
there are
at the bottom.
4 of them?
Yes.
I thought there were only 3.
Nope.
Well, never mind. Then that doesn't work at all.
Okay.
Sorry.
Is it possible to try using that map view again and see if that works? The one
Sure.
where you can see what you've explored before.
Absolutely. All right, it's turned on for this level. We'll give it a shot.
Thanks. So we found the secret passage leading from this room with a throne.
Okay. Okay. Yes. So as I remember, you found the secret passage. You went down the stairs to a level. You messed around there a little bit, right? Because there was some there was a giant stone caravan thing that tried to squish you. And yep. And you saw some giant gears. And then you went back upstairs to here.
And have we finished with this room with a throne? Like, I remember there's some things moving around, but I don't remember if we did anything with them.
Sure, we can reread it. That's not a problem. Let me get our things going here. So it's this one here. And oh, how about that? I didn't start that up. Okay. All right, so that's all right. So you have there's a throne room. This vaulted chamber features a 10-foot deep sunken floor surrounded by ledges without railings. Alcoves along the ledges hold painted wooden statues of hornet-headed humanoid warriors, each wearing a grass skirt and clutching a spear. A gruesome throne lashed together of bones and strips of skin stands atop the west ledge. A fearsome horned skull surmounts the throne. Small skulls are piled around it. The seat of the throne appears to be made of stretched skin, and it has a metal scepter resting on it. Shuffling. I'm sorry.
I thought we took the scepter.
I'm just reading the description. I think you did in the end. You're correct. Shuffling about the sunken portion of the room are 3 gaunt humanoid figures in dusty robes draped in cobwebs and their eyes and mouths stitched shut. Armed with brushes and clay pots of pigment, They paint the walls and pillars with grim, poorly rendered illustrations. And
Did
I
we
threw
fight
it in
them?
chat as well. Did you fight them? No, they're just
No, I
hanging
don't
out
think
and
we
they're
did.
painting.
And there's another secret door to the north.
There is a secret door to the north. You were correct.
I don't recall thinking of anything to do aside from grabbing the scepter.
Oops.
So I feel like the next step is to go through that other secret door.
Give me a second here.
Oh,
10.
what are those star things in the alcoves? It's something in the description, right?
So those are like wooden statues with
Okay.
the hornet heads.
Okay, I see it. Okay. So out of curiosity, do you think that has anything to do with the gargoyles riddle? There's 3 here, 3 more, maybe 3 more somewhere else.
True.
I don't know.
The
'Cause it seems a
gargoyles
bit
need 3 plus 3 plus 3 of something, but we don't know what.
right. I'm just saying there's 3 and 3 here, and there's 3 humanoid figures, so that's 3, 3, and 3. I don't know. Maybe this just has something to do with the riddle right here. This seems a bit derivative that it's the little tokens we've been collecting through the various steps of this whole temple.
You mean the torques?
Yeah.
I really hope we
feel-
don't need all the torques when we need them, because there's one that's being guarded by a beholder.
Yeah.
I do have some ideas for what to do if we really need it, but it's risky.
It's basically smash and grab, run distraction tactics, right?
No, it's sneaking in invisible.
Ew. That could work.
Or in darkness. Like darkness is more obvious, but we don't have to deal with the potential that the beholder could see invisible things.
Death ray, etc.
Well, the rays would be much less of an issue either way. So you'd
Right.
have to locate the person, and then also he'd be rolling the disadvantage. But it might not be a risk we need to take. So I'm not in any rush to go back and try it.
Not unless we have to. Yeah, I'm with
Right.
you.
So I think we should see what is behind the secret door to the north.
I'm fine with that. Explore our options, then figure out how we're going to proceed from there. Yep, I'm with you.
We will find a number of other encounters on this level and the level below, because we do have plaques advice on them.
Right.
And maybe once we get more information, we'll have an idea of what to do.
Okay. Let's see. So, all right, gonna open that door.
Yep.
All right.
Yes, sir.
All right. You guys didn't take we didn't take a long rest, right? You just went back up the steps. That was my understanding, correct?
I don't remember taking a long rest.
No, I don't remember it either.
Yeah, but like honestly, we haven't seen significant combat since our last long rest anyway. So most of us are pretty okay, I think.
I just have 1 rage used, so
Okay.
Yeah.
I know we didn't take a long rest.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I just happened to know. Well, I shouldn't say that. I just saw that Vicky's hit point line was down a bit, but She still has
Yeah, so
almost
is
80
mine.
hit points, so it's like, oh yeah, that's right. She has like 115. Never mind.
I have both of my spell slots available, so
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
for,
I have
for
most
what
of
that's
mine.
worth.
All right. How is the web browser working for everybody? Is it working well enough for you guys?
As far as
No
being able to
problems
see
here.
the map,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, it's fine for me.
All right.
Yeah, the only issue I have is my ineptitude. It's nothing to do with the map itself.
No, I'm just checking. I'm kind of watching my statistics on my CPU and stuff while I'm going through it. And sometimes I see my CPU spike to 100%. So I wasn't sure if you guys were seeing. I mean, it's working for me well enough. I'm just making
I think
sure.
last time it was Vicky who had problems with it. So Vicky, if you have more problems today, speak up and let us know.
I'll take silence as a positive. Okay. So what do you see? So
I said
you.
no problem. Was that silence?
We didn't hear you.
Oh, okay. I said no problem.
Okay. At least I didn't hear you. Sorry.
No,
No.
I didn't either.
All right. So you open up the door and you see it's basically so you see um the walls of this room are adorned with tile mosaics of a jungle city mingled with frescoes of flowering plants, birds, insects, humans wearing gold skirts and carrying spears and other ornate jugs. The ceiling is painted to look like a clear blue sky. A small beach cockroach sits atop a sarcophagus of black basalt in the middle of the room. A 2-foot diameter orb hanging from a chain above the sarcophagus is made from hammered gold to resemble a smiling sun. And I'm just always going to copy these descriptions
Thanks.
in the
Please
chat.
do. We appreciate
So
it.
here I'm going to read the plaques advice that we haven't accounted for. There's one that refers to the 4 elements, which is death to fire, dine or drown, precious air, and falling sand. The army sleeps in silence. The mirror holds 12. The maze holds the key. I don't see an army or a mirror or a maze here, so nothing really stands out.
I would say perhaps the smiling sun could be a part of the elemental prophecy.
Could, but we're missing the other 3, right?
Right. I'm saying that could be fire, and there could be other similar sarcophagus like this that respond to other elements. Again, I'm
I
just throwing
think
it out.
everything we've found so far has applied to like all together only to one place.
Right.
That being said, there could be something else going on, or we might have to trigger something that we haven't seen.
There could be more
Like
secret rooms too.
the cockroach and the orb both kind of seem like traps.
That
Or
too.
not traps, but like, like too easy.
Sus, as it were.
Yes, exactly. We certainly have the sun and the sky. Do we see any exits, Paul?
You do not.
It's pretty small. Do we want to go in and search? Seems like a reasonable
Detect magic, perhaps?
Sure.
Should
Oh, I don't know what it's
detect-
going to tell us, because even if the orb and the cockroach are both magical, like, then what? But sure, try it.
Okay, I will ritual cast detect magic in this room.
Okie dokie. Okay. So let's see. There is evocation magic around the golden sun and the bejeweled cockroach.
That means
Exactly as
explosion
you
magic,
said.
right?
Say what?
No, I was saying
Explosion
this.
magic.
Yeah, I was saying to Icarus over there. It's exactly as you said.
Yeah, it's like they're magical. We kind of thought they were magical, and we still have no more information really than we did before. But we might send in one person at a time in case there is an explosion. One person in, and then if nothing happens, we can go in and search. And let's get Orvex out of the doorway.
Seems wise.
Sounds like a plan. Yeah, I'll move him over here.
Wasn't there something in the
Whoops.
riddle? Can you hear me?
Yes, we
I
can.
hear you.
Yes, we can.
Okay,
Yes.
Wasn't there something in the riddle about the sun?
No.
Okay.
The elements are death to fire, dine or drown, precious air, and falling sand.
Death to fire. So let's see. So maybe the cockroach is death, the sun is fire. So if we cut the sun from the ceiling and it falls into the sarcophagus, that's death to fire, and that's part of the elemental.
Well, the sarcophagus is currently closed.
Right.
B, my hunch is that implies some sort of actual like trap, like a fire trap, a drowning trap, a suffocation trap, and a burial trap.
Perhaps.
Who is in the room? Is it just Vicky or
Well, once
Johanna?
nothing happens, then Zan can go in also and search.
Okay, so like I said, I think the fact that the sarcophagus represents death and the sun represents fire, I just think it strongly points to the elemental riddle.
Falling sands reminds me of an hourglass.
I just posted that Zarhana sees a name on the coffin.
Oh,
No.
let's. And I bet you can't read it, right?
It's Napaka.
Napaka.
That's not one of the 9 gods.
No, it isn't.
But we have heard
Is
that
it
name
a-
before.
Is it an engram of one of them?
No, we have heard that. Well, anagrams would be very poor, given that. I mean, from the design point of view, given that like there's no reason to think that we're using the Roman alphabet. We have heard that name before. Very early in our adventure. I'm going to see if I can search this. How do you spell that, Paul?
It's in the chat. Napaka.
Thanks. In the meantime, I think Zan should go in and search.
I will do so. So I will mosey on in and roll perception.
Go for it.
Badoop. Guidance. 16. Hold on, me. All right, give me 1 second. There. Okay, 17.
That's with guidance.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not finding anything else.
Let me look at the pinned messages here, because I think when we had that guide early on, I think there was some reference to Napaka when we were wandering around the jungle, like
You can, as you go in, you examine the coffin. I will say that the lid is sealed with strips of melted lead that seals the coffin. You can pry them away if you want, but that's how the coffin is sealed.
that's the first coffin we've seen that was sealed that way, right?
First one I can recall, yes.
Yeah, we were able to open most of the rest. If I recall.
I don't see anything in the pinned messages, and the search feature on Discord isn't turning anything up.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it either. I ran the same search. It's only bringing up the last message for me.
Okay, we'll set that aside, that in the pocket aside for now. And do we want to leave and come back later, or do we want to keep poking around? Somebody could pick up a cockroach.
Let's poke around a bit.
What do you want to do?
I want to see if we can find other passageways like this one.
Oh, it's the one that you want to leave and come back.
Yes, because if my theory is correct, we'll find other similar rooms like this.
Does Orvex know anything about the name or word Napaka?
That's a fair question. Let's see. So, sure, most likely he does. So give me a second here, get back to where I was. I probably should have done what I just did. Okay. Napaka, according to Orvex, was one of the queens of Omu over a century ago.
So that would make sense that this is her tomb.
Or at least someone related to her.
Who is it? Is it Zerhana that has the augury ability?
Yes.
Is it available?
Vic, we can't hear you.
I'm checking. Yes, it's available.
Why don't you use it on opening up the coffin?
Okay.
Casually opening up coffins.
Well, the augury opening the coffin.
All
Okay.
right. Let's see. So you're gonna augury it, huh? I just want to grab that spell real quick. Actually, it's probably easier to just get it off your character sheet, isn't it? Actually, for you, it's a feature.
What are you doing? Yeah, you.
You haven't used augury, Vic? It looks like there's a checkbox next to it.
Well, it's probably been a minute.
Well, she has to take a short rest to clear the checkbox. Oh, maybe
Well,
she did it. Maybe she just did it. Okay, never mind.
Yeah,
or she did it a long time ago. Just forgot to uncheck it.
Yeah, no. She just did it now. It's all good.
Okay, cool. Okay.
All right, so I'm gonna say. So opening the coffin is what you're going for, right?
Yep.
I probably don't want to be standing right in front of it.
You get for that wheel and woe, both good and bad results.
Okay, then I said we go for it. Anyone else
Okay.
have an opinion? Like I'm okay being talked out of it, or if you want to delay it for later.
No objection here.
No,
Okay,
let's do it.
Let's open it.
I just don't want to stand in front of it. Is all I'm saying.
Fair.
Oh, sure. You're gonna make me open it.
Well,
I'll help you. I'll help you, Zerhana.
If you're gonna take 1 billion damage, who's gonna heal you?
I'm just saying.
Look,
let's get Xanthos either in the room or out of the way.
I prefer to be out of the way, but within sight. Let's just like this, just exactly as I am.
Corner.
Yeah, I'm out of the room, but I have line of sight of Zerhana.
Oh, also, actually, Xanthros, why don't you cast resistance on Zerhana before she opens the coffin, and then you can go out of the room.
Okay, I will do just that.
What are you casting? I'm sorry.
Resistance. It's like guidance,
It is
but for
a-
saving throws.
Oh, I didn't even know you had that one. Okay.
It's a
It is a-
cantrip.
Yeah.
It is a cantrip. There you go. And now I'm out. Now I'm out of the room.
Okay. All right. So have what do you have? You have the sun hanging over the over the sarcophagus, and you have
Mhm.
the bejeweled cockroach, right?
You know what? I'm not going to be in the room.
Okay.
Go on.
Open it, but I'm
Second thoughts,
leaving.
huh?
You know when the
Yeah,
DM is getting
this is like-
specific, you got to be
You know,
careful.
I think having two people in is fine. If Althgar wants to stay there, that's fine. If Althgar wants to leave, I'll go back in instead.
So, Vicky, this is like one of those team building exercises when you're about to fall backwards, and all of us just get the heck out of Dodge, and you fall on the
I can
ground.
see. I know, I'm being abandoned.
It's all good. All right. So you okay. All right. So you peel off the lead, right? So now you can move the coffin lid if you wish, right? With the lead off, you can more easily tell that the cockroach is part of what we'll say looks like a jewelry box.
Is it attached to the sarcophagus or just sitting there?
I'll say we'll say there's a small indentation so it rests on the lid and doesn't and won't fall as long as you're careful.
Okay.
Okay. So what are you doing? You moving the lid?
That's what I suggest.
Move the
Maybe we have
cockroach.
to eat the cockroach.
Okay, you're gonna move the cockroach. All right. So I'm just double checking something here, making sure I got this right. Okay. Dang it, I lost my spot. Here we go. Okay. So, you have the cockroach, no problem. So you open it up. You see a number of precious gems, and there is a necklace with 8 beads on it, and that's about it.
Nothing's exploded.
Not yet. If you want a positive spin on it, sure. I don't know.
Okay.
No,
I'm
nothing's
gonna
exploded. Nothing's exploded.
I'm gonna go back in.
Okay.
Do the beads look like anything we've seen elsewhere in the crypt?
No. So we'll say it's like a necklace, and there's like 8 beads that are each on its own. We'll say string that kind of hang from the necklace.
Do the beads look identical?
Um, they're at least similar, right? I mean, they're made from the similar stone or whatever. So
Not
are
like they're
are
all
they
all
identical in the
different
sense as
colors.
they're right? They're all the same color, made from the same material. In that sense, they're identical. Yes. Is there slight maybe differences between them? Sure, they're not clones of each other, to put it that way, right?
Interesting. So far, I haven't seen any woe coming from opening the coffin.
Oh, just wait. I'll just open up the whole tomb and then we'll see.
Just flip
Is
the
there-
whole sarcophagus upside down, the proverbial flipping of the table.
Paul, was there a body?
You haven't opened up sarcophagus yet. They said they took
Oh,
the
I'm sorry. That
jewelry
was a jewelry
box.
box.
The
There's
Got
a
it.
jewelry box on top. That's what they've played with so
Got it.
far.
Okay.
All right. So, can I just slide it open a little bit without making it fall off?
Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da.
Vicky, are you talking about the sarcophagus now?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. So you can make a athletic strength check.
Okay.
And Paul, if the resistance wears out, we can send Xanthos back in to renew it.
That's fair.
I'll perform a drive-by resistancing.
It's all good. But your detect magic is down while you're doing
Correct.
the thing.
Correct.
Aye, Captain.
Just because they're both concentration spells.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
Going to the other side here. It's not
Alright.
going into.
What'd you
full
spend,
20.
Vic?
17 up to 25. It
Okay.
works.
Fair enough. We'll figure out what's going on with that later. Okay. Sure. You open it. So you open up the coffin. You see that inside is the you see the preserved remains of the queen inside, right? She wears the tattered remnants of a black gown and a hornet mask made out of painted gold. In her
Huh.
left hand, she holds a iron scepter with an adamantite head. Looks pretty identical to the one that you got from the adjoining room.
Oh.
Well, we definitely
gotta
want that
grab this
scepter.
one. gotta grab this and get
Well,
the scepter.
let me finish what I'm saying. So, blah 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 blah. Yes, that's where we are.
What's in her right hand?
It looks like nothing.
What was the hint about the scepters again? What
Find
was
the scepter's twin.
Well, we
Oh.
found it.
Well, we don't know which one is the twin.
Yeah, we don't know what we're supposed to do with it either.
Correct. Maybe you should put the scepter in her other hand. The second scepter.
It's a possibility.
It's worth a try, right? I mean, we're not going to lose it. If nothing happens, you can just take it back.
Sure.
All right.
It
So
seems like the safest option.
Okay. Let's see. So someone's putting the scepter in the other hand, correct?
Well, when if by someone he means Johanna,
Here. Done.
Oh, that's great.
It's all good. Sure. All right. As Zorhana gives the scepter or puts the scepter into the
Right hand.
queen's hand, right? The right hand of the queen, right? Um the the sun that's above the sarcophagus turns into has like a an angry face on it,
Oh,
and 1 second.
I was not expecting that.
Yeah, what can I tell you? And starts emitting rays of searing light.
hmm.
Um, can Zorhana and Ulfgar make a saving throw, please?
What kind?
It would be Dext. Let's see.
Well, apparently, giving her the second scepter was not the thing we wanted to do.
Or maybe it is, and this is something we have to deal with.
Yeah, it's also possible.
34 points of damage to Ulfgar. And Vic, if you can make that deck save, you will take half of that.
Plus 1d4.
24.
What'd you spend? 24?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that saves. So you take half of 34. So,
Is the sun continuing to shoot out searing rays?
yeah, it's not stopping. So it's you guys' turn.
So
Can you,
GTFO?
Johanna, can you grab the scepters and leave?
Sure.
Okay. So, let's see.
Oh, by the way, the resistance bonus continues to last until you use it, and you can wait until you see the result of the saving throw, like the total on the saving throw before you spend it. So if you got a natural 24 and you obviously don't need to spend the d4, you can use it for another saving throw within the time frame.
When Zorhana grabs the two scepters, the mouth of the queen opens and yawns a black gas that fills
Oh
the
my
area.
gosh.
Oh God.
I need Ulfgar and Zorhana to make a Constitution saving throw, please.
This is nasty. Don't forget resistance.
48 save for half.
Ah,
Jesus Christ.
70-12.
This is not good.
Okay, we found the woe part.
we found lots of woe.
Here, Vic, I'll come upstairs and see what's going on with your thing because I'm not hearing you and I'm not seeing your spins. Maybe I can at least fix the spins part. What did you spin? And if you're on mute, we're not hearing
Anything.
you. I'm sorry?
I didn't spin anything.
Oh, okay. Let me come upstairs for 2 seconds.
Oh, thank you.
Well, that's not a good sign.
What happened?
Vicky just logged out of D20.
Oh, maybe Paul has to reconnect or reboot the computer or something.
Yes.
Spend a Constitution save. She had the wrong browser open, so that's why nothing was working.
Okay.
She had
So
everything signed in on Chrome, and then she opened up Microsoft Edge, and like extensions weren't installed and all that kind of good stuff.
Okay, so it's fixed.
Should be. We'll try it. Vicky, could you please roll a Constitution save?
Working on it.
Okie dokie. You just have to click on the
I got a
Constitution.
natural 20.
Yes, you did.
Probably don't need to use the resistance for that.
So, Vic, you take 48 divided by 2. So 24.
Is she able to actually grab the scepters?
She's got them. And I take it they're both running out of the room, or are they just going to stick around?
Yeah, double tempted GTFO.
No,
Right.
I'm going to get out of the room. Yes.
I figured.
On
Okay.
my turn, I'm going to get out of the room.
Okay. So
I'm going to hide behind Orvix.
I'm going to say that you have both scepters. You have the necklace.
And the cockroach? Or is that attached to the box?
Well, there was a box of cockroach. He opened up the box and took out the necklace. I guess you
Okay.
have the cockroach as well. And the gems or whatever that was inside of it, we'll say.
Not that we can do anything with the gems because we're never going to be spending any money.
I guess someday we just might have to run these characters again with a higher level dungeon. Who knows?
Just so they can spend some money.
Just so you can spend some money.
Okay. So let's go back into this hallway over here, and we can like heal up.
Okay. Vic, I take it you're getting out of the room, right? There she goes. All right. I know you remember from last time that she has like no dice roll for a short rest.
Xanthos has some healing spells.
Is there any reason not to take a long rest?
Like theoretically, we might be under some time pressure. Like I wouldn't want a long rest after every encounter, and I don't. How long has it been since our last long rest? Paul, do you remember?
Yeah. I honestly don't.
I think it was fairly recently, but I don't remember.
I mean,
in any case,
you.
even if we are
Yeah.
taking a long rest, Xanthos should still heal you in case the long rest gets interrupted.
Yeah, I mean, he
Xanthos will
should
get
use those healing spells because he would get them all back.
right
So
exactly.
he will use them all.
If we're planning on taking a long rest, yes.
We should
Sorry,
take a long.
Sorry, I do attend to animals. What's I see we left the area. Where are we now?
Southeast in the hallway.
Okay. It's like this hallway? Yeah, okay. Cool. Okay.
And I'll grab Orvex.
We were discussing whether to short rest, whether to long rest, and you should be healing up Zohana either way.
Well,
Correct.
Ulfgar, he has 3 hit points. Sarhana has 37.
Wait, Ulfgar has 3?
Last I saw, yeah.
Oh Lord. Okay. Okay, give me 1 second. Okay. So, I don't believe I've used Channel Divinity yet, so that would be a good start.
Yes, definitely. This is definitely a good time for Channel Divinity.
Yes.
we will
because it was-
say that this is a side point. As after you leave the room, the sun calms down and stops emitting the rays, and in time, we'll say the black gas dissipates.
Okay.
Okay.
But that being
If
said,
we-
you
if
can
we-
do your channel divinity if you
So-
wish.
Yeah, where our characters are is where I want to use it. So it would be 25 HP to each of you.
Is that the way it works?
I'm looking
Doesn't
I'm
actually-
looking now. Where's channel divinity?
Preserve life as an action. You use channel divinity and present your holy symbol to restore up to 50 HP divided among any creatures within 30 feet, up to
yes.
half the creature's HP max.
Right. So I think giving Vicky 25 would put her over half. So you probably want to do like 20 to Zohana and 30 to Alfgar.
Well, it doesn't say divide as you choose. It says divided among any creatures within 30 feet. So my reading of that is it's divided.
Oh,
evenly.
interesting. I hadn't thought about that.
So I don't know either, but like I'm just saying, I don't get to choose how it's divided. It's divided evenly. That's how I would read that.
Fair.
Divided among any creatures within 30 feet up to it says choose any creatures within 30 feet and divide those hit points among them. I think
Yeah.
you get to choose.
Well,
You can't
all right
restore
then.
more. I'll say you can. I mean, you can't restore more than half of their maximum. So to the earlier point, right? You can, if I'm reading the little teeny print, Paul normally has 92 and Vicky 115 at the max. So if you divide those numbers by 2, that's the highest they can be with your channel divinity.
Okay. So
20.
I will. All right. Well, then I will do just that then.
Do what? 25 each?
So I will restore Vicky's HP up to half, and then I'll give the rest to Ulfgar.
So how much is that?
20. 20 for me.
Okay. So then 30 for Ulfgar.
Thank you. I feel much better.
Yep. So, but Ulfgar, we'll have to have some words because I think you're at 33 now. What's your
Yes.
what's your max?
92.
We're gonna need to work. We're gonna need to work on you a little bit. Don't worry, my friend. I'll patch you right up. So I'm gonna use one of my level 3 spells. I'm gonna use level 3 Cure Wounds.
Okay.
And you were gonna heal 19 from there.
But that's all you get from level 3 spell? It seems low.
I rolled a 6, a 1, and a 7. It's 3d8 plus 5.
Okay.
So it's
That's 5.
24.
24, yes. Well, he gets
Yeah,
he
no,
gets
that's-
5. There's 5 for. Well, he get 19. It looks like because it's 1 plus 7 plus 6 plus 5.
Yeah, it's
And
19.
then he gets Disciple of Life. So does that go? Let me reread your character. It's been a while since I looked at this cleric. So
Oh, maybe he heals that himself.
right. Whenever you use a level 1 spell or higher to restore HP, the creature gains an additional HP equal to 2 plus the spellcaster level. So you get the 5 as well, Paul. So you get 24
Okay.
total. And
Cool,
then
okay.
I think there is another thing that he has that gives him hit points, but he's at full anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
That's the Blessed
Healer.
Healer. Yeah.
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
Okay, so if we're gonna long rest, you should be able to spend some hit die and get yourself back up to max from there, I think.
Zohana cannot do that because she's out of hit dice. So you'll have
Well,
to heal her
if
up.
you long rest, you do get full. You get all your hit points
yeah,
back if
that's
you
true.
long rest.
Yeah,
If you
get your hit points
short
back,
rest, you get
and you get some hit dice.
yes.
Yeah.
Right. So do we want a long rest?
I would be fine with long resting, but since this is a dangerous area, I'd want someone to keep watch. In this case, I'd volunteer myself since I'm at full hit points and nearly full spells. So I'd be fine with watching out and waking everyone up in case we get interrupted.
Yeah, because I remember, Zorhana basically got down to like almost 0 hit points because of that boar's head.
Yes.
Right.
and she's
Oh,
never
yeah.
long rested since then.
Correct.
That's why
So-
she is so far down.
Yeah,
True.
I'm in
For
good
her.
shape, so I'm fine. I'm fine with sitting this one out, the long rest out, and making sure we don't get surprise attacks.
Well, you're gonna have
Well,
to
you should-
long rest at some point. You can't not long rest with the rest of the group because
We'll
I
just
think
we'll just take turns keeping watch.
I'm
Yeah.
fine with that.
I believe if you
Yeah.
don't long rest, then I think you have to make I'm gonna say a con save, or you might get a level of exhaustion.
That makes
Yeah,
sense.
I'm not a fan of that.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
I'm going by memory on that one, but I believe it's something along those lines.
All right, no, that's fair.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So when we long rest, we can also identify any new treasure we have that's magical. Right.
You can. Are you casting an identify spell? Or you're just doing your
I
normal
think
thing.
just the long rest itself gives you that information.
It allows you to attune for it, yes, but it's not as the same as identify, but it's pretty close. Okay.
So I think it's just the cockroach. I don't think, or maybe the necklace. I don't think we picked up anything else recently.
So we're going to say that
Oh, scepters also.
Yes. So let's just kind of go through everything here.
Okay.
So the necklace is magical. So you're doing this Icarus?
Do I have to attune to it when I do it?
You don't have to. I just want to know who's
Sure, that's fine. I could do it.
Okay, just making sure. So the necklace is a necklace of fireballs. Let's see. So that's one. And then the second one is the scepter, right?
Well, that's why it's 8 stones.
Let's see. So I'm just trying to see. Is that an attunement? I thought it was. Oh, actually, it's not. How about that? Learn something new. Got you. The scepter's sole purpose, you find out, is to basically destroy the construct that you destroyed 2 weeks ago.
The juggernaut?
Yep.
Oh,
And that's all it does.
huh. Is it, which scepter was that?
That was the scepter that the queen was holding.
Oh,
That if you touch the scepter to the construct, it just dies.
neat. Okay.
But since it's already dead, its magical purpose in life has been fulfilled.
It has. Okay. Who wants the necklace? Keep in mind that you will have to attune to it in the future to use it.
So it's just a wondrous item. It does not require attunement.
Oh, okay. So who wants to carry? I
Who
mean,
can't use it? Can anybody use it?
It's a
Reading
wondrous
about it, it
item.
says-
It
says
does.
it's good for fighters, sorcerers, or anybody multi-class into fighter or sorcerer.
Wow, you're reading something different than I am.
It's on D&D Beyond.
Yeah, I'm reading on D&D Beyond too. I don't see where it says that.
is there a specific reason that
I mean, it makes
fighters and
sense,
sorcerers?
but I'm just gonna group. Maybe there's 2 entries for this. Let's see.
What I got is from the
One.
comments below.
There's a number of references to it.
Yeah, I see that too.
That's why it's a little confusing. I don't see any of them that say that you have to be a certain class. So, just for the heck of it, I'm just gonna say no. Whoever wants it can have it.
Um, so this gives essentially a ranged area attack. Probably should go to somebody who doesn't have a ranged area attack, an at-range area attack.
That could be just about anybody.
Necklaces. Does anybody else really want it? I'd like to have it.
Go ahead.
It's fine with me.
Okay, thank you.
Paul, if Johanna uses a fireball while she's raging, would that count as an attack for the purposes of her rage?
It could. Yeah, I mean it's an attack. It's fine.
Okay. Okay.
So,
so
Zahana, what are you putting the necklace away, or what are you doing with the necklace? I need to know.
I would presume she's wearing it.
Wearing it.
Okay. The necklace explodes.
Oh,
Can everyone make a dexterity saving throw?
That was mean.
Yeah, dude.
It's a mean dungeon. Vicky, Zahana, you failed automatically. I heard you say something, but I can't hear you. You're either not using your headset or whatever, but I am not hearing you.
I'm using it. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Now we can hear you.
Now we can.
Well, I'm a big old box of fail too.
So,
Well, I guess we're going to be following up this long rest with a short rest.
Everyone who's not Icarus takes 64 points of damage.
oh wow.
And I got to spend 4 of X. Oh, well, I hate to say this, but that was as far as your translator got. Because he failed his
No.
save, and that's enough damage to
He
auto
was
kill
only at
him.
20. Yep, he was only maximum 27.
Oops, I have my
Oh
thing
no,
on there.
Orvex.
So Orvex did not survive that.
Sad.
Well, I guess we're going to short
I have
rest.
death saves.
What's that?
So I'm down to 0, so actually I'm
I assume
below
this was
0.
after we did a long. I assume this is after we finished the long rest.
Right,
we
because you
didn't-
had to do the long rest in order to.
in
So,
order to know what it was.
so
Okay.
you would have been up to full. Everyone would have been up to full, and then you would have lost the stuff on top of it.
Okay, I got to figure out how to reset my hit points.
If you click on long rest and confirm it,
Yep, click on wrong rest in the character sheet. That will do it.
Okay, I had to get back from the death saves. All right, so I took how many points of damage? 64?
64.
So now I have less than I started with.
so we're going to take a short rest and spend some hit dice.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to come back in one moment.
Paul, does
Sure.
D&D Beyond automatically restore the hit dice you get back from long resting?
It's a good question. I don't know. So if I
I
looked
don't
at
think.
Vicky's character sheet, she should have gotten half of them back
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
because she had them all gone. And if I look at her short rest, yes, it did. So she has 4 left because she normally gets. She's level 10.
Shouldn't she get 5 back?
I would think so. I forget how much you get back for a long rest. Let's take a
When I
look.
clicked on my long rest, it said I got back 5
I
hit
get half
dice.
Yeah, you
back.
should get half.
And I got half back. I have 5. I lost. I had 10, and I got 5 of them back.
Oh, well, maybe you already checked one by the time I looked. Okay.
Okay.
So that means, Vic, you can spend a D12 and add 2 for each dice that you want to use. So if you want to spend 5 D12 and add 10, that's how many hit points you get back if you want to spend them all. Wow, that's a good one.
So I get 12 back.
That's on 1 hit die. It's spending 1 die. You have 4 more. I'm going to get some water while you guys are spending dice.
You mean try not to like die? Holy fuck.
Actually, before we spend hit dice, Xanthos, you could use your Channel Divinity again for anyone who's at less than half.
I can also just say YOLO it and like do a level 5 cure wounds to a bunch of people.
There's no point in spending spells if you don't need to, because we might need those spells later on.
That's fair. Okay. Then I will channel divinity again, and I imagine I'm gonna need this too because I'm at 13.
You should figure out how much you're giving to everyone. I don't need any because I'm at more than half.
Okay, I will definitely need it.
All right, I'm back.
Xanthos is using his Channel Divinity before we start our short rest, because there's a
Okay.
bunch of people at less than half.
Then he can do that.
Okay, so who else is at less than half at this point?
Everyone but me.
Okay,
I'm less
I
than
will
half.
then. I will distribute among everybody at under half. So 50 divided by 3 is what?
You don't have to do it evenly. You can distribute however you want. Remember?
Right.
So why don't
Okay.
you all say that you did the channel divinity first before you spent
Yes.
hit dice?
That's what I said.
Okay. I wasn't sure. I was
I
just
need 4.
walking back.
Can I have 4 from you? Can I have 4? Xanthros?
Yes, of course. Yes.
Okay.
So
I don't
you
know
need
if you
4?
can hear me or not.
I can
I
hear
just
you.
need 4. Okay. Thank you.
You got it. Done.
So you get the 4
Thank you.
Vic, and then you get the additional 12 from what you spun.
So Xanthos, why don't you take whatever you need and give Ulfgar everything else?
I will take. Let's say so. She has 4. I'll take 20 and give Ulfgar 26. Does that sound good?
Is 20? Does 20 bring you up to half?
No.
What? Take what you need and give Ulfgar the rest, because his
Okay,
hit dice are better than yours.
20. So I would take 25. I would give Ulfgar 21. I take 25. I give Ulfgar 21. And then Vicky gets her 4 still. Sorry, Zerhana gets her 4 still.
Thank
So 25, 21, 4. And then I have Blessed Healer also, so I pick up another. No, doesn't count for this. So, anyways, I gain 25 back. So I'm up to 38.
And then after that, Xanthros, you can spend hit dice during our short rest.
Will do. We'll do 5. I'll do 5 on that.
You can
Sure,
you don't you can do them one at a time. You don't have to decide in advance.
Okay. 8.
Okay, what did I miss?
You got 21 back from the Channel Divinity, and then you spend hit dice until you're ready to continue adventuring.
Oh, we're gonna do a short rest after the long rest.
We have to now.
I mean, we just took like 200 damage among the group.
And okay. Cool. All right. So I will do 1. No, I'm not resetting. Okay. I'm at 73 of 75 after spending 5 hit dice. I'd say that's a pretty good outcome.
I still see Paul on D&D Beyond in the 40s. Is that where you want to be, Paul?
No, I'm pressing my buttons now.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Just say you might want to use some hit dice there, Star Command.
Just making sure we're on the same page.
I can never get this thing to work right. All right, so it only rolled once. I told it to roll 4.
You have to do it one at a time.
You do one at a time. Then when you're done, you mark off the hit dice you used, and then you click on short rest and confirm. It's a little counterintuitive.
Yeah, it's a little clunky. I agree.
All right. I just did it manually.
Okay, that works. All right, we good?
Yeah.
I mean, relatively speaking, outside of exploding necklaces, but yes, yeah. Hey, I did kind of warn you. It's one of those dungeons when you get when it gets to this part.
It was fine up to up to the beholder.
Yeah, so yeah, honestly, I think the beholder is a stack of bullshit, but the necklace is like, okay, sure, that happened, but we'll survive.
Sure.
Like, okay. I can't speak for Orvix, but you know what I mean. Like, a beholder behind a secret door is kind of bullshit. It's not your fault, Paul. It just feels really shitty.
Yeah.
I understand that, and yeah, I get it. I mean, you did guess correctly. There was probably a beholder in there somewhere, so it's
and
though an invisible beholder isn't exactly something you normally see either. So I get that.
Even if it was visible, like I don't know that we could have avoided that.
Yeah, what could we have done, right?
Okay, so we're next to this passageway right here.
Yes.
Oh, this one goes down to something, down to the next level. I guess. Well, this is where we're going.
I would say, I mean, yes, there are steps going down, and you see a treasure chest at the of the steps. It does not go as low as went before.
Okay.
When you went down to the 5th level.
So we're essentially still on level 4. Okay, we're good. Let's search as we go. Zethros?
Indeed.
All right.
I assume that Zohana is still willing to lead the way.
No more necklaces for me.
No more jewelry.
After a necklace and a sarcophagus, I don't know about that.
After 10 feet, this dusty corridor becomes a staircase that descends 15 feet to a lower tunnel. Resting on the floor at the bottom of the staircase is where are you going? Come on back. If you're going to go that far, then we're going to have words. Is that where we're going to be at? Who's going down?
Where's
Who's
Johanna's
going in?
Where'd everyone go? Oh, here we are. Okay.
I haven't even read the thing yet, so just relax.
Xanthos, wherever you put your token is where your character will be when
That
the
is
explosions start happening.
correct. So, I mean, if you move into something before
I'm
I
back.
get to read something and,
I'm
something
backing up.
happens, you can't say that you didn't move yourself.
So Johanna should be in the square right in front of me.
I'm trying to figure out where
Because
everybody
I
went.
had heard
Sorry.
that Anthros was going first and checking for things. Is that what we're
He's not
doing?
going first.
Oh,
Yes.
All right. So,
so I'm the
okay, here we
front.
go. Oh, so Zohana's going first. Okay. So, 10 feet. This
Actually, I
dusty.
think Xanthos should be behind. Xanthos should be behind Zarhana, so he can search as she goes.
Right there. Okay. Got it.
Okay. So, after 10 feet, this dusty corridor becomes a staircase that descends 15 feet to a lower tunnel. Resting on the floor at the bottom of the staircase is an old treasure chest with a rusty built in lock. Just beyond the chest, the tunnel opens up into a huge dark chamber. Now,
We have light sources, right?
you
actually,
do.
I can.
Some of you do. Well, you
Yeah.
see everything because you're you.
Yes.
Everyone else,
once
yeah, a lot of people have. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Once we see that the chamber is dark, why don't I switch places with Johanna?
Okay. So you can do that.
And has Xanthos found anything from his searching?
It's a good question. So what are you searching as Anthros? And I don't see what happened to the what happened.
What's your question?
Somehow the D&D, I mean the roll 20, I lost the roll. Oh, here it is. Sorry. Here we go. I lost to see what was spawned because the thing went away. Okay. Now I feel better. I must have clicked on the tab and got rid of the side window. My bad.
Right.
Okay. So sure. So you
I would
are
like to have
searching.
Xanthos. I'd like to have Xanthos search everything up to and including the treasure chest.
And right. I
Okay.
assume that's what my roll is for, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yes.
The treasure chest is locked. Okay. So that's fine. 1 second. 1 second. Okay. All right. So lots of stuff going on here at the same time. So great. So the chest is locked. You see that you see at the that there is a that there is at the 1 second. I'm going to do something here. Yeah, that's fine. You see that when you get past the chest, the floor of the room ahead of you is partially a false floor
Neat.
for about 10 feet.
Is anything moving in the room?
All right, that's a different question. So in the room itself, from what you can peek, that you see 4 marble columns supporting the ceiling of this grand tomb. Twin staircases ascend to an upper gallery where a carving in the giant maze adorns the wall.
Ah, the maze.
On the floor of the tomb
There's
stands
corn
an
everywhere.
opaque
Got it.
crystal sarcophagus that is constantly changing color. Minotaur murals adorn the walls on the lower level of the tomb.
Very maze-like. Is that it?
Sure.
So the plaque says the maze holds the key. We probably have to go up to the balcony and solve that. I would suggest Zohana and I can jump over the false floor. Maybe Ulfgar could cast fly on Xanthros and himself.
I was gonna
That
say
way we
he of
can-
negative dex is not doing any jumping.
That would allow us all to get into the room without having to deal with a false floor.
Are we doing anything about the chest? I think maybe we just ignore it.
I think we ignore it for now. We can come back to it later.
Okay.
I mean, recent experiences lead me to conclude that like nothing good can come out of this chest.
Yeah, no kidding, right? Huh.
Paul, can I get enough of a head start to jump over, to do a running jump to jump over the false floor?
Sure. I mean, we'll say you get over. It's only 10 feet, so it's not that big of a lift.
I can suddenly jump 23 feet.
Then it shouldn't be a problem.
All right, the NBA is looking for you.
Oh, sorry. No, it's not me who's jumping 23 feet. Somebody has the strength. Oh, I do have the strength. Kubazan, right? It's just not on my character because I didn't think it would do anything. Yeah, but I have a 23 strength from Kubazan.
Then you're in pretty good shape.
Yep.
You and Zorhana can have a jumping contest.
Does anything happen when we enter the room?
Nope.
I would suggest we make our way up the stairs to the maze and examine that.
All right. So
Is Paul online?
Yes. Not
Okay.
here.
Yeah, if you and Xanthros want to come into the room, you'll probably have to do it with fly.
Yeah, all right. Okay, I'll toss a fly spell here. I
Okay,
haven't
here we
cast
go.
fly in a while. Do I have to?
do you have to
If you
what?
bump it
I'm
up-
sorry, you kind of stopped there.
Yeah.
No, I have to read the spell. I have to do.
It is concentration, so you can only cast it once.
Yep. There you go.
Okay. So you fly Xanthos in the room, right?
And
We
myself.
fly for a white guy. Here we go.
All right. So in you go.
I'm gonna walk up the balcony to the balcony.
I'm gonna fly up the balcony.
As you get close to the maze, that the intricate carving shifts before your eyes, its configuration ever changing. The maze has no exits, and its corridors are lit by tiny torches and clouded by fog. It's almost like you could see, it's almost like a small dungeon maze that's in the wall.
Does it have any moving parts? Like, can the torches be moved, or they're like blocks or pieces or something that can be moved around it?
Okay, so you're going to try and touch it and move things
No,
around?
no. I want to look at it. I want to look at it.
Okay.
He's like, you want to touch? Touch?
I'm just making sure these are
Got
rooms that
itchy,
you got to be exact about what you're doing.
you
Um,
got
Yeah.
itchy fingers over there, Mr. DM?
no, you've touched other things and nothing happened. I'm just being precise about what you're doing.
Yeah, some things we've touched have exploded.
Some things you've touched have
Yeah,
exploded.
sometimes-
Sometimes they explode later. Sometimes they don't explode at all. You just don't know. Um. So then, what's your question? Can you just think you can move it?
Does the maze have any moving parts? Like anything that can be like moved through the maze?
No, it doesn't look like. I mean, it's a wall carving. It seems to move on its own magically.
So nothing in the carving can could represent a person in the maze, like walking through the maze.
No.
Okay, so it's possible that if you touch it, you get sucked into the maze and you have to solve it, which is not terrible as long as we don't all get sucked in.
Well, as long as we have you by our side to get us out.
I mean, I'll do
Look,
my best. We probably
you're
should
the
have.
human escape.
We
You're
probably
the
should
human
have two
escape room
people.
killer here.
Sorry.
I said you're the human escape room killer. If anybody's going to get sucked into the maze, it best be you.
Thank you, but Icarus has not played any escape rooms. Probably should have two people stand back in case it like sucks in everything on the balcony or something like that.
In case it explodes.
I mean, that's kind of the equivalent of exploding for a maze, right?
I mean, why wouldn't the maze explode? Well, there's a beholder in the maze. That's your prize for winning.
Yeah.
But
I mean, based on the carvings in the wall, if there's anything in it, it's going to be a minotaur. My guess.
Yeah, it ain't nothing good.
So like I said, I don't think everyone should be on the balcony when we start filling with a maze.
I would be inclined to agree. Let me back down a bit. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Actually, can Xanthos search the maze before you leave the balcony without touching it?
Can he
Sure.
search the maze without touching it? Sure. You do a perception check.
Doing
With
it.
guidance.
Sure.
Well, I'm gonna need the guidance. That I didn't roll well for that one. All right. 13.
You guys perceive the maze. You don't perceive anything more than the maze.
Okay. So once Xanthos leaves, or once there's only two people on the balcony, I'm gonna try touching the maze.
Okay,
What if you try to stay together?
Well, okay, we could all try going into the maze, but then like it's kind of everything or nothing.
No, I don't mean all of us, but the two people should try to stay together.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
all right, give me 1 second here. Got it. Uh, 1 second. Sorry. I just realized I didn't have. I gotta get something together here real quick. And we'll do that. So while I'm getting my stuff together, what are y'all doing? So one person's touching
I'm
the
touching the
maze,
maze.
and what is Ulfgar doing as he's hanging out near you?
I think it's just watching.
I'm just watching. I'm just floating around.
All right, fair enough. So, oh my gosh, sorry. Give me 1 second. Oh, you know what? Let me tell you what happens, and then I'll do this because, gosh darn it, roll 20 is just a dog. I'm going to temporarily turn off that one setting if you don't mind,
Sure.
because I'm trying to do something and This happened to me with the kids for the first time the other day too, where it just seemed like it was a total dog. Sure. Close enough. So Icarus touches the maze. Icarus disappears.
Of course, as expected.
As expected. I'll find some place to put you later, but we'll leave you there for now.
Sure.
As you disappear, 10 secret passages open
Whoa.
in the room itself, not with Icarus. From Icarus' point of view, Icarus, you stand in a 15-foot high passageway walled by small, smooth, featureless stone, which is lit by torches and shrouded by fog. There is no ceiling, and when you look up, you see a distorted view of the room you left behind.
I'm in the maze. What a surprise.
What a surprise. In the room itself, the original room, 10 secret passages open up, and each one has a Minotaur skeleton in it. And oh my gosh, D&D Beyond, D&D Roll20, you are killing me. You're absolutely killing me. Dude. Thank you. Good enough. Paste. I don't even care no more. Paste. 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 Paste.
Paste.
And this is why you like make sure you have all the mobs on the board beforehand. If I do, oh my dude, I seriously. Thank you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Are these actually passages or are they alcoves?
They're mostly alcoves.
Okay.
Spin for initiative. You can do it as well, Icarus.
Remember to select your token before you click initiative.
All true. Give me that. Give me that. Give me that. And you can see as the passageway goes up, the bones that are inside of these chambers just coalesce into these different skeletons. Because why not?
Is this a sleeping army?
This is I think this what we found is that only one line from the plaque applies to a particular situation. So I suspect this is not the army. I suspect this is just the maze holds the key.
Xanthros, I need your initiative.
Well, I'm outside the maze, aren't I?
Yeah, these are inside. These are inside the room with you, big guy. You're fighting the Minotaurs. Icarus is in the safe spot inside the maze. Well,
yeah, we'll see how safe that is.
Safe enough for now. Okay. So stay in turn order. Zarhana, you're up to bat. I can't hear you, my love. Whatever you're doing with your phone, it's not working any better than when you use your computer, because I do not hear you.
I'm sorry, I was on mute. I'm gonna rage.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
I can. I can hear you much better when you're not on mute. Yep.
Okay, good.
All right, you're raging. Great. Look around. There's plenty of targets. What do you want to do?
I'll attack the guy closest to me.
All right. Go attack the Minotaur skeleton. Go for it. That is a hit. You do 12. And you probably get more than one attack per round. So what else you doing? Gonna hit him again?
Yep.
And another 11. 4, 23. So 23. Okay. He is injured. Is there anything else you're doing? I don't know if there's anything else you can do. I'm just being polite and asking.
I presume Zuzana had to move to attack.
She does. She has to move in front of the Minotaur that's to her left, please.
Any Minotaur.
Well, she said the one closest to her, so that's the
Oh,
one I
okay.
thought she was going
Okay.
for.
Yep, makes sense.
That's all you're doing, right, Sirhana?
Uh,
I heard
yeah.
and that was it.
That's it.
Okay. Icarus.
How high are these walls?
The walls are 15 foot high.
I suspect there's something that would prevent me just from flying over the maze and solving it that way. Does it? So when I was on the balcony, it looked like the maze was constantly changing.
Yes.
Does it still seem to be changing from my new perspective? Can I tell?
I don't think you can really see it from your perspective. You're in the maze and you're on a balcony and the thing is below you. Yeah, I think it's kind of tough to tell.
Okay, I'm gonna try like. So I try like throwing like a rock or some gravel up in the air to see if it can go above the wall.
All right, so you look for something to throw above the wall. Okay. You throw it up and the gravel does not come back down.
Does it stay? Does it disappear? Does it stay in the air?
It disappears.
Okay. I'm gonna try. Walking the maze. Can I like make marks on the wall as I go?
Sure. You can try and do that. That's fine. You can put some marks.
Do I make, do I want me to make any checks for trying to navigate the maze?
Can you roll a D100?
I can.
Okay. Right now you don't find anything. At least not yet.
Okay. That's my turn, right?
Yes, it is.
I'm done.
Ulfgar, you are standing on the balcony and some little bits of gravel roll by your feet. It's your turn.
Okay. So there are these guys in the alcoves, right?
Yes.
And gravel is at my feet.
Yes, some pieces of gravel kind of rolled by your feet from the direction of the maze.
Okay. There will be a short timeout while I contemplate my spell list.
Paul,
I
Okay.
contemplated my spell list.
Paul, can I hear the combat?
It's distorted. You hear that maybe something is going on. It's gotten louder, but it's kind of tough from your perspective. It's
Okay.
not as just clear what's going on.
Okay, I'm going to cast a... No, I'm not going to do that at all.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Okay.
All right, I do that.
What is it that you do?
That. I
And
cast magic missile.
to whom are you casting it on?
I'm
You got 10
casting it
targets.
on the
Go ahead.
yeah, I'm casting it on the one that Zerhana injured.
Okay, so third level, that should be 5 missiles, so that should be 25 damage, right?
I think so, yes.
Because you get 3 missiles at 1, and then 1 for each level above that. So that should be 25 damage. Okay.
Did I fry it to death?
No, but I'm tempted to say the word bloodied, but it's a skeleton, so we'll just say it's heavily damaged. All right, lots of skeletons. Let's see. All right. Let's see where I'm going to put all these guys. Well, this one can go up the steps. It's normal. This one will follow. Do this one here. That one there. And the rest of you guys are blocking the door. So we're just going to have this, or the staircase as the case may be. So we're just going to have them mull about the room a little bit. Because why not? Okay. So what do we got? We got, say, 1 skeleton on Zorhana. We got 1 on Ulfgar. I can't move through character tokens, so I can't get him up the steps to go after Ulfgar another direction or go around them from another direction.
You want me to move?
You can move if you want and make it more convenient for my skeletons. We'll
Well, I mean,
say
like I don't want to bar the door and absorb a million skeleton attacks. I just like is it what you intend to do in the campaign is what I'm asking.
oh, I don't know. I'm just saying what I'm allowed to do right now.
Okay, because I have some plans with these undead when it's my turn. Just saying.
Okay. Um Okay. So all right, it's going to use a great axe attack on Paul. Yeah, so it gets 1 action. So we're going to go. Oh, wait 1 second. Oh, never mind. He's going to do a gore attack because of the movement thing. So 17 does hit.
That hits.
So you're going to take you take 14, and because it moved at least 10 feet in a straight line, if you can make you get an extra 2d8, which is 9 on top of that as a charge attack. And could you make a strength saving throw?
Wait a minute. An extra 9 points of damage.
Right, so 23 altogether, and then a strength saving throw, please. Okay, you made it, so you're not knocked prone or anything like that.
How could I be knocked prone if I'm flying?
Well, it knocks you to the ground.
I see.
We'll go with that. They're large. They're pretty big. They're not little baby things. All right, let's go for Zan. Same deal. So Zan, that hits Zan. So Xanthros, you take 19 plus. Wow, all crit for the damage. At least some of it was. Well, I rolled 3 8s and a 7. So 19 plus 16. So 35. And then 2 4 6 for Zan. All right, the other one went the same attack. And could you make a strength check, please?
Well, that could be worse.
You made it. And then the other one would do the same thing to Zarhana. An 18 just hits. Sahana, you take 21. And can you make a strength saving throw, please?
Yes, one moment.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Okay. You are knocked 10 feet backwards. So I'm going to put you up. He knocks you back onto the steps. So this damage one is just going to move up and make a normal axe attack against Zan. And he hits. And with his great axe, he does additional 20 points of damage.
Can I do the spirit shield?
Depends what that is. Let me take a look.
It's a reaction that prevents damage.
Use the damage, if I can see him.
Sure. Spin 3d6, please.
Working on it.
Okay, so you can give yourself 9 back, right? You took 11 back, I should say. You only took 9 from that one attack, so you can give yourself 11 back. And once you do that, it's your turn, Zan.
Okay. You mean not me? Xanthros gets to take it.
Yes, Xanthros, Zan, not Sarhana.
Did he catch that?
You still there, Greg?
We'll tell him when he gets back.
Yeah, we lost him. I don't hear him. I see he's lit up in Discord, but I don't hear nothing. He dropped. He'll be here in a second.
So Greg gets 9 points back, right?
He gets 11 points back. He took 9 total from that one attack. Oh, come on.
Oh.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, great. Sorry, my sound took a shit on me.
That's okay. So, the attack of 20, and I'm hearing an echo, so you still have some issue going on with your mic. But from the attack of 20, you got 11 back because Zorhana did a spirit shield and protected you from some of the damage.
Okay, so I took 9.
9 from that attack, correct. And
Okay.
it's your turn.
So if I were to take a step behind, if I were trying to go behind Zerhana, I'd provoke all of these, wouldn't I?
Yes, you would.
All right, then Hail Mary time it is. I'm gonna use Turn Undead to try to get all of them to run the fuck away from me.
That's fair enough. So that would be 30 feet. So
All of
10,
them. That can,
20, 30. That's not quite all of them, but it's
I
good
see
for
5 of
about,
them.
that's probably good for half the room.
Great. Yeah.
So they got to make each undead that can see or hear you must make a wisdom saving throw. If the creature fails, it is turned for 1 minute or until it takes damage. Turn creature must spend its turn moving as far away from you as it can and it can't willingly move to a space within 30 feet of you. And they also take reactions for its action. They can only use a dash action, prevents moving, blah, 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 blah. Okay, sounds like fun. All right, so they get a bunch of saves, it looks like.
Yeah, it's the only move that doesn't result in me being destroyed that I can think of.
Okay. Let me make a bunch of saving throws. So I'm going to make 5, it looks like.
Yeah.
Just kind of make sure I'm on the right spot, right?
So I can see 5 in my field of vision.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. I'll say 6.
All right.
6, my
Thank you.
bad. All right, so we're going to
Roll.
start with the damage one on the left. So what was the thing? Was it wisdom?
Yeah,
Yes,
it's
wisdom
just
save. Okay,
17.
so that's a miss. To your right, that's a miss. To your south is a miss. Further south is a miss. Directly from the coffin is a miss. And the dude next to him is a miss. All right.
Oh boy. Okay, that
So
was real good.
6 of them are turned, and when it's their turn, they'll be moving away from you. They're
So
like,
when they're
ah, what's that?
I can now back up without provoking, right?
I don't know about that, but
Okay. I'll let them do their thing. My turn's over.
okay, fair enough. Zerhana, you see 6 scared minotaurs, as much as skeleton minotaurs could look scared, going to run away, and only the 4 to the far east are the only ones that you should have to deal with. And Zerhana, if you're speaking, I cannot hear you.
Can you hear me now?
I can now.
Okay. So I'll run over. Can I run over to the guy that's attacking Ulfgar?
I don't know. How far is that? Roughly what? 10, 20, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. It's about 40 feet. How far can you move?
Walking.
If you said something, I just heard the end of it.
40 feet walking.
Then you can go right next to Ulfgar and go smack him.
That's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do.
Okay, thank you. I don't know if your mute button just takes a while to be unmuted or what you're doing, but it just comes in and out. Once it works great. But yeah.
I will attack.
Go get him. You get 2 attacks. And that's a hit. $16. And that does hit as well. And 13. So 29 total. And those are pretty good cuts. We'll say he's damaged. Icarus, you're up.
I guess I'm doing the same thing as before, just trying to navigate the maze, making marks on the wall so I don't trace my steps.
Spin your D100. Nope, nothing.
Okay, that's all I got.
That's all you got. Ulfgar.
Well, let's see. Going to now, if I attack with a cantrip with my Ray of Frost, that does not provoke an attack of opportunity, or that does?
It does not, but you'll have disadvantage if you're attacking the one next to you.
What he said.
Oh, because it's I see.
It's a ranged attack, so you would have disadvantage.
Okay. All right. Never mind. I'll attack with my staff.
Okay.
That's not what I wanted to do.
Okay.
I wanted to actually attack with the staff. What
Are you spinning where it says
I'm
+8?
clicking. Yeah.
I don't know why it does that when you click a +8. Like it should do the spin of the +8. Instead, it looks like you're spinning on. What are you spinning on?
All right. So that's a little broken.
I don't know.
Um,
Oh, I just tried it. Did the same thing for me. Well, that's really strange. So why don't you just do a normal attack and add 8?
25. I think that hits.
That would be a hit.
Let's see what happens when I roll damage.
You should do whatever it says, right? So you can expend up to 3 charges. For each charge you
Oh, wait a
expend, the
minute.
target takes an additional d6.
Did you get that?
I see a 7.
Yeah, I did 7.
Are you going to expend any charges?
No.
Okay, then it takes 7. Sure. And just for the fun of it, so the minotaurs that are turned, they all try to run out of the room, but instead they run over the false floor and they fall into a vat of acid.
Wait, what?
Convenient. Yay.
Wait, that's reserved for Bond villains.
There you go. So if I do, can I make this? Hold on. I think it's in the map layer. That's where it is. So I'll just do this and do that. And then once it catches up, I should just kill these guys. Forget it. And for the sake of simplicity, I'm just going to say that they all just die there over the next couple rounds. Because it will take a couple rounds for them to die from the acid, but with the way Roll20 is behaving right now, I am not going to try and track their hit points individually.
Wow.
Okay. And besides, it certainly makes this board a heck of a lot cleaner. So we're going to have these guys run up to Xanthros. Why not?
What?
Well, they're not. Because, well, they're not done yet. There's still 4 other guys.
Damn it. Well, I'll finish. I can't see any of them on my field of vision, so there's that.
Well, that might be true, but they couldn't turn them either. They were outside your turning radius. 10,
Right.
20, 30. You're about 40 feet away. Hey, they moved 40 feet. So there you go. Okay.
That hit?
That's a hit. And let me do the second
No.
one. The
It's
other
a
one
miss.
misses. So one hits. You
All right.
take 15 plus 4, 19.
Okay, I'm at 10.
You're at 10. And it's your turn again.
Well, hold on. Let me see something real fast. Okay, there's no limits to how many times I can get them turned up. All right, doing it again.
You
The
get
limit to the
2
number.
channel divinities per short rest. So this is the last time
Yep.
you can turn per short rest.
Doing it now because it's either that or die. So
Well, I don't
Wait,
blame you.
did he?
What the heck
Oh, never
happened
mind.
there? Wow, this
I'm
whole
doing it right. I'm turning these last two fools.
Whoa, what just happened there?
Where did I get
That
teleported
looks
to?
weird.
Just wait a second. Well, it's because I tried to get rid of the false floor and the whole frickin' map shifted because roll 20 just totally sucks.
Right?
Wait 1 second. I'll shift it back.
Look, I'm either gonna look like a badass here, or I'm gonna be stone dead, and there's gonna be no middle ground.
I don't think you're going to be stone dead because once they knock you out,
I might not have the option if they hit hard enough. I could be straight dead.
don't you have to be like negative your hit points to die?
Correct, I'm at 10.
No, you're negative your maximum hit points.
Correct. You won't die that well. We'll get to that point when you get to it.
No, I'm gonna fuck them up. They're gonna run right into a pit of acid, and we're done here. That's how that's gonna go.
All right, so I've got it lined up again, and I'm not touching anything on this damn map because roll 20's lag is just so bad, and I don't know what the problem is.
Really unfortunate.
All right, so I got to roll some saving throws, right?
DC 17 wisdom.
You got
Same
it.
as before.
So boink, miss, and a miss.
All right,
So they are scared of you.
good. I got big dick energy. They must be running.
So Hannah, you're up.
Okay, I'm gonna attack him.
Okie dokie. That's
Can
a
you
hit.
see it?
Yep, that's a hit. 17 damage. Second attack.
No.
That's a hit for 9 damage. So that's 26, right? We'll say he is we'll say he's critical. Icarus, you're up.
Do you want me to roll another D100?
That'll be great.
I don't have anything else. I don't have anything different to do.
No, you don't.
Ah, I keep getting the same roll.
Something's wrong. You shouldn't be getting the same roll 3 times. I'll just roll it manually.
I could roll 2d10s.
You could do
One
it
at a
that way
time.
too, but something's wrong if it's rolling it 3 times in a row. It's just roll 20's been messing up. I've seen this in roll 20 too, where it keeps spinning the same die.
So 72.
72 is slightly more interesting. You find the skeletal moraines of an Ormond child. Uman child, whatever. But beyond
So,
that, it's better than nothing.
okay. So I have to roll higher than the 72.
Yep.
Check.
Ulfgar.
All right. Huh. So which ones are scared, or are none of them scared?
The 2 by Xanthros is about to run away.
Okay.
So
All
it's just
right.
the 2
So
by
I'll
you.
ignore them.
I'll even flag
The
him
two-
before I kill him.
Okay. That's all right. You don't have to. It's almost their turn. All right. I'm gonna swing again with the staff, except it's not gonna work. So I'll.
That's very negative. Spin. You might hit him.
No. I mean, it's the button is not gonna work, so I have to
Oh,
keep it in.
just spin it.
Okay, so I do 16 points of damage. Or
It's
no,
dead.
I hit
It's
I'd hit
dead.
with a 26, and
You
it's dead.
It's
Okay.
dead. You killed it. So these 2 go away. They also fall into the acid because I'm the style of dealing with them. And there's 1 left. So he'll come up here. And Zorhana looks tough. And it goes with a great axe. And it hits. And Vic, you take 16 divided by 2, which is 8, because you're raging, right?
Yes.
Okay. Xanthos, you're up.
Okay. I believe the operative term here is GTFO and get into and heal myself so I don't die. So I am going to head up these stairs here. And I'm gonna cure myself, like real good.
Okay, what are you doing?
So I'm gonna cast level 4 cure wounds on myself.
Okay.
I will gain 22 back.
22 or 28?
28, blessed healer. Yes. Okay.
All right. That
All
sounds
right.
like your
I'm
action.
not. Yep, that's my action. I'm no longer in the danger zone.
Fair enough. Zorhana?
I'm gonna swing away. Ah,
That's a miss. Okay, it takes 10. All right, Icarus, you're up.
91.
91. You find a purple crystal key.
I'll take it.
You teleport next to the coffin. And just for shits and giggles, the coffin is currently colored purple.
Do I have time to put the key? Is there a lock on the coffin?
There is a keyhole.
Do I have time to put the key into the keyhole?
Sure, go for it.
I'll do that.
Okay. You hear a click or something like that. It's open.
Great.
Great. I did not fudge that. That was exactly the timing you needed. Ulfgar, you're up.
I just will keep bashing away, I guess.
Bash away. Bash away all. Little Christmas cheer in that bashing.
Yes. And let's see. So I do 7 points of damage.
Okay. This guy will attack Sarhana, and it misses. Xanthos, you're up.
Okay. I'm going to, at this point, I'm no longer dying. I'm going to head toward, I assume I hear sounds of battle at this point.
You
From where I'm
probably
stand-
see sounds of battle. What's your? I guess. Well, I guess the room's pretty dark for you, isn't it?
Yeah,
Aren't
I
you
don't see
20
much.
and 20?
I think it's 30.
You
But I
what are you
can't.
using? What are you using?
Well, I'm trying to find out where there's combat so I can
What
help
is your
out the
light
attack.
source?
I don't know.
I'm going to
Where-
assume it's a torch. I think one of your settings is slightly off. That helps a little bit better.
Yes, it does. Okay, great. That's exactly what I needed. Okay, I'm going to move forward. I'm going to cast Spectral Weapon, and I'm going to cast it on that right in front of that Minotaur zone. Or no, but I can't. Yeah, that's actually no. I'm going to do this. Pop up right here, and I'm going to cast Sacred Flame at the Minotaur zombie that they're fighting.
Okay. So your cast Sacred Flame, you said? There it is. Thank
Indeed.
you. Ooh, he made it. So no damage for him. Sarhana?
All right, I'm gonna attack him. Awesome.
Oh!
Natural 20.
So I'm just making sure I'm understanding what we got here. So slashing critical. So total damage looks like 25. And that is your first attack.
Yep. Is he dead?
No. But we'll
Try
say
again.
he's bloodied. And an additional 13. He's hurting real bad. Icarus?
Does the sarcophagus open or is it just unlocked?
Let's see. So to be more precise, the sarcophagus lid just disappears. And you can see the contents within. Let's see. All right. So you see that the sarcophagus is filled with salt. So it's just covered in salt. It's the whole thing is filled with salt.
Okay.
In the meantime, you you happen to get a charm that magically appears in your hand. And the charm is going to be the charm of the maimed.
Charm of the MAIMED.
Yes. So it
Sounds
allows
good.
you to regrow a lost appendage. It's a one shot.
I hope I don't need it.
Fair enough.
It's that. No, it sounds cursed for real.
I think it's gonna.
How badly off is that Minotaur?
We're going to need it.
How badly off is that Minotaur?
How bad off? We'll say he's critical.
So probably Ulfgar, you think you can kill him on your turn?
I don't know.
We'll say he's a healthy critical.
Okay, I'll just curse him and Eldritch Blast him then.
All right.
I don't want to risk any more damage. So this is going to be 2 rolls. Yeah, 2 rolls.
That's a hit.
So this is damage. I didn't roll the extra die for that.
Oh, he's dead.
Okay, that's fine. I'm gonna heal up from that then.
All right, combat's over. Whatever you're healing, go right ahead.
Oh my god. That combat. Woo. Okay. Yeah, about that.
It's a good thing you're a cleric.
I think so. Anybody else would be stripped dead in that situation. Just saying. Still, I'm hurting, but I'm not like critical at this point, so that's good.
All right,
Do
so
we
let's
want,
get.
do we want to take? Do we want to take a short rest?
Yes, I do. I think the rest of the party does because we're all hurting.
Maybe we
I'm
should
fine, fine.
leave the room first and find somewhere else to rest.
I don't think anything
can
else is
feel-
going to happen in this room. We might want to deal with the coffin before we short rest, so that we don't have to go back to the room because there's still the acid. What's the state of the maze on the wall?
I mean, it's still shifting and
Okay.
so forth, but yeah.
Are there any? Is there any writing on this coffin?
question.
Let's see. Let's see. Sorry, I'm going through lots of stuff.
Yeah, that's fine.
So, blah 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 blah. This is a long one. Right. Does not say there's any writing on the coffin.
Okay. I inferred from the way you described the secret compartments that at least one of them was actually a passage that went somewhere else.
Yes, and you can see that it's the bot on the east bottom opening. There's a passage that goes east.
This one? Or this one?
East. Go to the east
This one?
wall, bottom.
That
Yes.
one?
Yes, you
Okay.
should be able to see it if you move your character down there.
Right now the grid doesn't really line up with
Oh, doesn't it? I thought I fixed that.
outline. No, well, down to me anyway. I could try leaving and coming back.
Oh, it looks like it's lined up to me, so it might be if you left to
Okay.
come back or refresh the web page, it should come back.
Oh, sure, I'll try refreshing first. If we don't want to rest here, like I don't think we can really go back because of the pit of acid.
Well, the pit of acid is, on the one hand, it protects us from the rest of the dungeon. On the other hand, we have to deal with it after.
We have a way to go that doesn't require going through the pit of acid, but it goes to some unknown place.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll go. We can leave that way.
Well, I think sure, but I think if we're resting, we should actually rest here.
That's fine. I was agreeing.
Okay. Let me check if there's any spells I want to cast before I rest. Because I'm gonna get them back. Why don't I investigate this coffin before I rest in case I need to cast any spells to deal with it?
Sure. What you want to check out? By the way, Vicky, the sections 127, 112.
I'm gonna search through the salt and see if there's anything underneath at the bottom.
Sure. So, sure. You reach in and you touch something that feels like cloth, and uh basically you pull up a like a robe, and slime pours from the folds of the robe to take the form of a multi-flail like pseudopod.
Oh, the Unk. This is Unk.
Yep, and a female voice echoes through the chamber, "I can help you. At least I think that's what I'm supposed to do."
I would
And
welcome your help.
you would welcome her help? Okay,
I
well
would.
we gotta have a boss battle. One
That's
second.
right.
All right, so let's see. And we will say we'll say against this one. Ooh, and it wins.
I was hoping it would.
So who did you have in you before?
I had Kubazan before.
You had Kubazan before. And Kubazan came from, I gotta go look that up. Which the thing that Kubazan come from? What was the
It.
item?
I don't remember.
I'm gonna look.
It's it's I can see it in the chat if that helps, but probably not. There's nothing else around it.
Let me take a quick look.
I might have been in the room with the barge. No, that was Ijin. Never mind.
Let's see.
It was somewhere else on that level then. Level
Area
3.
42. So here we go. So it is frescoes, blah, 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 blah. It was a pair of bracers of archery.
Oh yeah, I don't think anybody wanted those because we don't have any archers.
Okay, so did you just leave them,
Yeah.
or does somebody
No,
have
no,
it?
no. We took them because why not? But I don't know that anybody actually has any use for them. I'll look them up
Po-
just in case.
Potential sell value. Yuck, yuck, yuck.
Right.
All right, then we're just going to say that no one has them equipped or is touching them, and it's fine, and no one's going to try and repossess. That's fine. We'll just leave. We'll just let it go. So
Yeah, no one's gonna
let's.
put them on in any way.
That's fine. So let me
Yeah, it's only
find.
helpful if someone's using an actual bow.
Got you. All right, fair enough. So let me go and find this person. So it was. Sorry, I'm somewhere else now. What
Unk,
number am I supposed to be
unk.
on?
Oh, I don't know.
I'm supposed to be on 55. Okay, sorry. I had to jump around to find out who had the
Fine.
thing. All right. So, boop a doop a doop a doo. All right. So it's Unk, right?
Yep.
So your inherited flaw is that you are incapable of making decisions.
Oh,
Oh no. And you know what? You know what the combo is? Because I'm possessed by Wongo, I make decisions in my own self-interest. So you defer to me, and I make selfish interests. This isn't good.
All right. Sand's in charge now.
Oh no. Oh no, no, no.
And your con score is now 23.
Oh, that's legit.
better than my strength score being 23.
So
Nah.
you might want to temporarily raise your con score to 23 because you just got a boatload of hit points.
Yeah, I had somebody's item that gave me a con score of 19. So if somebody else wants to take that item, it was amulet of health. If somebody else wants that. I believe it's still possessed by somebody, so you'll have to have you have to make a saving throw or something. But that's an option.
What kind of saving throw is it?
Charisma, and you can give yourself resistance before you take the item. Or you could also just accept the possession and have the boss fight, have the two bosses fight. I mean,
I could legitimately take it. I think if no one else wants it, I could
you'll have
probably
to
take it.
you'll have to attune to it when you take the upcoming short rest.
So what is it which item is this?
I have an amulet of health that came from some Omu and deity.
What does it do?
It makes your con score 19.
I don't see that as one of the possession.
I'm sure it.
It must be the item itself, not the possession that does that.
No, agreed. It's not the possession that does it. It's the item that does that. But the
Oh.
item has a spirit that has not been able to possess somebody. I don't remember who it was, but it was on the first floor.
Do you
on
remember
level 1.
what? Oh, the first floor. Well, that helps. And it gives a con. Do you know what it was? An amulet or whatever?
An amulet of health.
Health. All right, let's just search for health, and that'll be easier. There it is. It's Papazodal or whatever.
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh yes, I was. Oh, actually, wait. Kubazan chased out Papazodal. Does that mean Papazodal goes back into the amulet?
Give it to someone else, you'll find out.
Okay, then give it to Xanthos after he casts resistance on him.
Does that sound good to you, Zan?
Yeah, I was 100% for it.
Sorry, Zan. If you don't want, you should actually not resist the save because you want to get rid of the current one. Is that right?
I'm giving up a psionic blast and selfish decisions for whatever
Yeah.
this is.
Well, we know what Papazodal does. I can tell you because I had Papazodal before. I'm just scrolling up to see it.
Yeah.
Papazodal. The flaw is I bow before no one and expect others to do as I command. The benefit is you cannot be surprised. You gain advantage on all wisdom checks. That includes perception checks. And you never take damage from falling.
I will take. I think it's better than what I have now.
Sure.
And the reason I say that is because of how bad Wango's curse combines with yours.
Sure.
So I will not resist. I'll just take it.
All right, let's see who wins. Yeah, cool. You did win again. All right, so your current spirit has been kicked out, so you lose whatever that bonus was.
There's a psionic blast
And
bonus.
you have an amulet of health, which you can put onto your character, right? Like
And
add it
we're
as
about to-
a. It requires attunement, but
Yeah, we're about to take a short rest so you can attune it then.
so that will give you a con of 19 if you add the amulet of health. And then you have Papazodal's spirit, which you can look up in the thing.
You go to equipment and add an amulet of health.
Yep.
And then go to the attunement tab and attune to it.
Okay, how do I add it? How do I add the amulet? So I search.
Go to on the equipment tab. There's a button that says manage equipment.
Got it. Okay.
And then the button that says add items, and you just in the filter just type like amulet.
I found it. Got it. Okay. And I'll go to the attunement tab.
Yep.
Got it. Okay.
And then make sure you have it marked on your inventory as active.
Let's look.
Yeah, put a
It
little
is
checky
active.
box there. Okay.
Great.
I got
So
it.
we're
It's active.
gonna take our short rest.
Okay.
Hmm.
Hold on, I'm rolling some hit dice here. Short rest. No. 31. I'm good with that. All right. All right, cool. I'm using 4 hit dice here.
Okay.
I'm up to 69 out of 77.
I feel like your maximum hit points should be higher now that your con increased.
Oh yes. How do I increase it?
I mean, I can see that your con is 19. I'm looking at your character sheet right now.
Yeah, I'm like, wait, what?
So I
Yeah.
don't know. That's weird. I don't know why.
Why? Let's
You're
see.
getting. You should
So-
have roughly. You should have about 90 hit points or 90 something.
So I'm thinking, right? So my con was +2 before this. So I'm now +2 higher. So I should have, if I'm 10, I should have 20 more hit points. I'm doing the
It
math
does say
correctly.
when I look at his HP management, it does have 93 and oh, you have your max hit points overridden for some reason.
Okay, manage levels.
Must have been some sort of creature, or you did
Lazy
it
thing.
mistake. There.
No, because I'm lazy. Hold on. 93?
Well, you do now. You're
You
fine.
could. Yeah, you could just.
You had
untick,
overridden your hit points for
yeah.
some reason.
All right.
Don't do that. If you did do that, don't do that.
All right, there we go. How's that?
It looks a lot better. At least last time I looked.
All right. I was
Okay.
lazy and was managing hit points manually up to this point.
Don't.
Is
don't
everyone else?
yeah.
Is everyone else done resting?
Yes.
I
Yes.
think I'm all done.
We're good, Vic. We heard you.
Okay, we have this passageway to the east.
All right.
And I would suggest Xanthros is second so that he can search as we go.
I can't. So I can't see where everybody else. I can only see Ulfgar at this point.
You got to
That's 'cause
move your character
The
forward
passageway
then.
is down here.
Got it. Okay, I see y'all. Okay, I'm with you.
Someone's gonna get Xanthos some glasses compared to the rest of the group.
You know what's funny is, in real life, I'm very vision impaired.
Yeah, you and me both, brother. right.
However, I had LASIK 10 years ago, so that makes all the difference.
Oh, okay.
Some people love glasses. I hate glasses. So this is perfect for me.
I still wear contacts most of the time because I hate glasses, but I try not to wear them all day. I wear them most of the day, then I'll take them off and kind of chill out the rest of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So what am I searching?
You can,
Yes.
sure.
And remember, you have advantage, so you roll twice and take the better result.
It's almost like Cedar never left,
Right.
at least in terms of perception checks.
Yes.
Oh, that happened. All right, sure. Okay, I'll just take a 19. That's because I'm not going to roll better on the second one. So there you go.
Okay, looks good to you. As you approach the room, you hear a rhythmic ticking sound coming from the room.
Oh boy. Well, at least it's not a bomb.
It could explode.
I laugh, but I cannot in any way, shape, or form ridicule you on your paranoia. It's all good.
It's well founded.
All right. So who's going in? Who's going? Vicky's going first. Sarhana, is that right? Nobody's moving, so I don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
We
Generally,
don't.
Johanna goes first.
We're traumatized, Joe.
I don't blame you, man. Go get him, Sarhana. Okay. So, oh, by the way, when you refresh the webpage, did that work for you, Icarus? Do you have
Yes,
things
it did
lined
actually.
up? Okay. This room contains a wooden cabinet with a numbered dial at the top set with ornate metal spokes. Beneath the dial, the pendulum swings inside an open compartment. An egg-shaped stone adorns the pendulum's tip. So, basically, it's a clock.
Is I think
Okay, I'm
we
still
need Zohan to
scared.
actually move into the room.
No.
Sure. 1 second. All right. So, you go in and it's a clock. It's got some nice bronze chimes and um it's around the bottom of the hour.
Why don't we have Xanthos search the clock?
Detect magic or search?
Search first, because it takes less time.
Okay.
And again, like, if detect magic shows that it's magical, that doesn't really tell us anything.
28.
28. No, you don't find anything. You do notice that the there's like an um invisible shield or whatever that protects the um clock pendulum.
Like a wall of force.
Yeah, something like that.
So, just to remind everyone, we still have 3 sentences from the plaque we haven't used. None of them seem to apply to a clock. Although the mirror holds 12 could refer to 12 hours, but we don't. Do we see a mirror in here?
No.
The army sleeps in silence. I don't see anything there. And then death to fire, dine or drown, etc. does also not seem relevant in any way. Are there any? We see no exits.
No exits. Nope.
It's super weird to have a secret passage leading to a clock. Super weird.
It's
Super
almost like it's
suspicious.
significant.
What was that?
Suspicious. Super suspicious.
Agreed.
I was gonna say it's almost like it's significant in some way.
I'm sure it is significant in some way.
Yeah.
Does it seem to be keeping proper time?
Yes.
It, it looks like a normal clock. Look, it has the normal numbers for hour, normal number of hands.
Let's see. Yeah. Zan, you said you were casting detect magic, correct?
Well, I did perception first.
Right. I'm just asking if you're still doing. Are you going to start ritual casting the spell?
Might as well. Let's do it.
Okay. Seems to be keeping time. All right, so 10 minutes for your detect magic. So the clock radiates transmutation magic.
Oh, good.
It's very
In all
easy.
honesty, is there any type of magic I could have like said that you guys wouldn't have said something like that?
Divination.
Oh, okay, sure. You got me there.
Um, it's very easy for me to role play my flaw here because I have no idea what to do.
Okay.
Like, do we wait for the clock to reach the hour and see if anything changes? Do we just like leave and come back? Is it
Does anyone here have Unk or Wango?
Ivunk? Ivunk. I don't know.
Um.
I don't know if anybody has Wongo.
I had Wongo.
Oh well. Unk
Got it.
is
I think I have Nang Nang.
Yeah, you
Unk
do.
is struck by the technological wonder of the clock and wants to stay and marvel at its beauty.
Sure. I can accommodate that.
All right,
Well, it's not
we'll
like-
say
it's
it's
not
about quarter
less
of.
than
If you're
12
asking
minutes.
about time, we'll say by now we'll say it's around quarter of. Since you
I
were
mean, we
talking
could
about
just
staying at the top of the hour, we'll say 15 minutes has
we
passed.
could just wait 15 minutes and see what happens.
Good.
Zohana,
Someone's
I
got
don't know
to
if
be
you,
decisive because Icarus is indecisive. So
yeah. Zohana, I don't know if you think this is worth an augury to see if waiting is going to help.
did
Or
you get
I,
one back? Let me see.
or maybe it's better to save it for something later.
So Hannah, if you're speaking, we can't hear you. Got to hit that mute button.
I have.
I heard 2 words.
You can't hear me?
I
Now
can
we can hear you.
now, but either you're slow hitting the mute or something. Like I hear
I'm
you
not muted
upstairs
at
and I
all.
don't hear you. When I say hit the mute button, all of a sudden I hear you. So I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not on mute at all.
Are you using a microphone?
Okay.
I don't know. Weird.
Yes, I am.
That's
Oh,
weird.
nice.
I don't know. I guess it's some time delay between you and your headset, but all good.
All right. Do you guys want me to use the augury? I got it.
If you want to.
Yeah, it seems fine.
Hold on a second. I could also do the clairvoyance where I could see and sense things as if I were in this space, so I could see what happens with the creature.
What creature?
I have clairvoyance,
Yep.
so I have an invisible sensor within a range of a familiar location.
What location do you want to look at?
We could leave this, and then we could see what happens when the time changes.
True. I can't think of anything better for clairvoyance. So if you want to do that, it's fine.
Yeah, I want to try that.
Okay.
Let's leave some innocuous object in the room, see if it gets affected by anything, like a rock or an arrow or something like that.
Okay.
Leave an arrow.
And
Okay.
then we'll leave the room and we'll let Zohana watch clairvoyantly.
Okay. We'll say and I presume everyone is leaving, yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay. So well, it takes 10 minutes to cast it, so you only got to wait another 5. And the clock strikes whatever hour it is, top of the hour, and the arrow seems okay to you.
So nothing visible changes.
Nope.
Weird.
I have not a clue.
There's no reason for a clock to be in a room by itself doing nothing.
Should we review the clues again to see if there's something we're missing?
We just did.
So nothing. Okay.
Death to fire, diner drown, precious air, and falling sand. I mean, falling sand could be an hourglass, also a timekeeper, but we don't see that in the room. The army sleeps in silence. Got nothing there. The mirror holds 12. There's no mirror.
The mirror holds 12. An analog clock has 10 numbers.
12
What?
numbers? Oh, an analog clock. Oh, yeah. I mean, there are 12 numbers for 12 hours.
Yeah, maybe this has something to do with that.
Maybe. I speculated that too, but there's no mirror.
What if we smash the clock?
I don't see any reason to destroy it for no reason.
Off Carter.
What?
You just run and
I'm
laugh.
pacing.
Well, you're getting your calisthenics in, I suppose.
All right, so the clairvoyance certainly wears off after 10 minutes. So,
Yep.
you
Yes, please.
guys doing anything else?
Can we? I don't think so. I think we just want to leave.
Okay, fair enough.
I think we're stumped by the clock.
You're stumped by
Um,
the clock. Okay.
we're gonna have to, I think, get past the acid pit the same way we got in.
Right. So I'll use fly and take Xanth out.
Yes, yes.
And then we're gonna go back up these stairs.
I'll do it later.
Did Xanthos already search this hallway for secret door?
We'll say yes.
Okay, so there's
believe
no
I
other
did.
exits.
Everyone else want to come up the steps? Here they come.
Up the steps.
Paul, is it feasible to turn on that feature again? Because I'm not sure I remember what we've explored and what we haven't.
I'm gonna do something here. I'm gonna try and 1 second here. I want to do this. I did adjust one setting on my computer recently, so I'm gonna try and reset it and see if that helps. Just give me hardware. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna restart my browser, which means I'm gonna have to bring them all back up. Let me make sure I get my Chrome going. There it goes. All right. I had turned something off earlier. I just wanted to try and see if that makes a difference. And actually, I think it does. Yeah, it's working a lot better. I can grab Xanthos now. Oh, yeah, it's a big difference. I had turned that off because something else. It's that hardware acceleration that you can get
Okay.
on your browser. Sometimes that interferes with certain things, but it seems to make a difference with Roll20. So this is a lot
So
better.
the places there's that face to the east, and I think we're on the other side of that face before.
You maybe have gone down that hallway. I don't remember.
I don't know if we came down the hallway, but I'm pretty sure we saw the other side of that face, but I could be wrong. Where would everyone like to go from here? There's a hallway to this that goes south from the balcony, and there's a wider hallway that goes east on the that's on the lower level.
Yeah.
I think the only other thing from level 4 that we haven't been to is the hallway that leads south.
Could be.
There's nothing else in the spiral staircase except that passageway leading to the throne room, right?
So is Ulfgar at the bottom of the room, or is he up on with Icarus?
I don't know.
I'm flying.
You're flying, even better. Okay.
So where do we want to go? Would anyone like to
So
help
you
me
said
decide? Yes.
we haven't gone to the place to the south, so I guess we should check out the place to the south.
Okay, we'll check out the place to the south.
Seems reasonable.
Okay.
Xanthos should be second, so he can search.
Okay, I'll go.
You spinning anything, Xanthros?
Yes.
Okay.
1 second. Boom. Hold.
You get advantage for that, right?
Yep. Advantage on all wisdom checks.
Oh yes. There you go. Oh, again, that's right. Okay, hold on. There we go. Pick that one.
30 is a little better than 13.
Don't find nothing.
Just a bit.
Looks
Okay.
good to you.
So this apparently branches west and east. We want to turn west or east? Somebody make a decision.
West.
Okay, we're going west.
All right. So who's going first?
Presumably Serhana?
Going first.
Yeah,
Well, everyone's in
remember-
all different order, so I'm asking. Are we going? I thought they were going west. Are we going east or
We are
west? Some
we are going west. We are
West.
going west.
Zerhana,
go your
You
other
know
west,
what? I'm
Zerhana.
behind-
All right, hold
I'm
on.
behind
Okay,
behind
okay.
you.
1 second, Zerhana.
Yeah.
Let's see. As you are walking towards the room, you see a mirror ahead of you in the room ahead.
Oh, the mirror holds 12.
Make charisma save, please.
Good charisma.
Okay. As Zarhana gets about, we'll say, 30 feet or so away from the mirror,
Oh, so we have to push. We have to move back then.
you have to
right now
move back a
Serhana's
little bit. Yep.
Okay. Right now Serhana's like 50. Everyone should move like 3 squares to the east.
Okay. Greg's phone completely shut down. That's why he's not doing nothing. I can move him back. Zoop. Whoop. Let me pull my there. All right. So as you get about 30 feet away, Zarhana, you are sucked into the mirror, kind of like Jumanji.
That.
Okay.
I'll just put you
Um,
down here temporarily.
Ulfgar and I both have good charisma saves.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that.
Okay. You get back just in time
Ulfgar
to
and I
hear
both
that Zarhana got sucked into the mirror a la Jumanji.
The mirror that can hold 12. Ulfgar and I both have good charisma saves. If you put resistance on us, we should have a good chance of making the save against the mirror.
Doing it now.
But you'll do it
Well, I
one at
can
a
only do
time.
one of
You can't keep resistance up on both of us at the same
All
time.
right, who goes in first?
Ulfgar, do you want to go in first? Or do you want me to go first?
What am I doing when I go in?
I
Well,
guess we have to
charisma
help.
save.
We have to get Zerhana out of the mirror.
Yeah, how do I do that? Do I break
I
the
don't know.
mirror?
I don't know.
All right, well, let's find out.
What's the worst that could happen? Wink, wink.
Well, it says it holds 12 and there's 4 of us, so all right, I have my resistance. I'm going in.
All right. So you're just going to walk on in?
Yeah.
Do it.
All right.
Not
Make
walking
your
towards the mirror. Yeah.
walking towards the mirror. Got it. Make a charisma save.
There.
Okay. Okay, no problem. Hey, it's a mirror.
Is there Hana in the mirror?
Let's see. Um No, you do not see. You don't see Zarhana in the mirror.
Are the rest of us in the mirror?
You see yourself.
But we saw Zerhana get sucked into the mirror.
You did. And by the
Should I
way,
try
you
and
should have had
break
that saving throw with advantage, by the way. I'm
Oh.
just telling you so
Really?
you know
I'm
for
back.
the
Sorry.
future. So you're still like checking out the mirror, basically trying to figure this out.
Why did I have advantage on that saving throw?
Because you now know the nature of the mirror.
Oh.
So what are you doing? Just trying to do something.
I'm asking if the party, if I should break them, try.
I have
If I
no
should
better
try to break.
suggestion. Like I don't know. We could try to dispel magic on the mirror if you think that would help.
Well, that might be better than trying to break it.
Do you know just dispel magic?
No.
Okay.
I know dispel magic.
So
But you do. But spell magic.
right. So far, all I've heard you do so far, Paul, is say that you looked into the mirror and asked me if you would see Zarhana in the mirror. Correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I've asked if I see everybody in the mirror.
You see him from a distance, but yes, because they're down the hall, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
I haven't actually done anything to the mirror yet.
I'll try casting dispel magic on the mirror.
Okay. What's the range on that?
120 feet.
Oh, okay. No, it doesn't do anything.
Okay. I mean, we can certainly try breaking the mirror. I don't know what else we would do.
Any ideas, Xantharos? Oh, Xantharos doesn't have sound.
No, I'm here.
Oh.
Don't break the mirror. Don't break the mirror.
I'm a little worried that
You can't say nothing.
I'm a little worried that breaking the mirror could like trap Zarhana in there.
Thank
Well,
you.
I'm a little worried about that too. I mean, if you break the mirror, and that's the wrong thing to do, there's no second chance.
Agreed.
What if I
How?
have an idea. What if we just spell magic the mirror?
I just tried that.
He tried that when you were resetting your phone.
Oh shoot! What happened?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Is
Okay.
the mirror? What's like what are the dimensions of the mirror?
It's a 4-foot tall mirror.
How is it attached to the wall?
It just seems to be stuck to the wall.
Can it be removed from the wall?
No.
Can it be covered up with like a piece of cloth?
Sure, if you have one, you could, hang it on because it's, it has like maybe some, some ornateness to it, some sort of border or frame or whatever. Sure, you could put
So
something over it if you got something, a cloak or
I just
whatever you got,
remembered.
blanket. I mean, I don't know.
Did that was there an item in Unk's sarcophagus?
Oh yeah, I guess we were so caught up in the other thing. I didn't tell you what the actual item was, did I? Sorry about that. We were all
Sorry.
healing and stuff.
I just remembered there was a robe in there, and it's like that robe was a piece of cloth.
It was. 1 second. All right, here we go. It is a robe of scintillating colors.
Ooh, fancy.
It has It apparently does require attunement.
It does. Creatures that you can see have disadvantage on attack rolls against you.
As an action.
Yes.
And
3 charges. Well,
it
while
only
you wear it,
lasts. The effect only lasts until the end of your next turn.
sure.
And you might stun your allies.
And you have to use
Anyone
an action to do it, but yes.
Anyone within 30 feet that can see you has to make a DC 15 Wisdom saving throw or become stunned.
It's still interesting.
It's interesting, sure.
Good.
Uh,
That's one.
so we can
That
use
is one word you can use. Yes.
we can use this robe to cover the mirror. I'll toss it to Ulfgar.
All right, I'll cover the mirror.
The mirror is covered.
I will approach the mirror. Do I have to make a saving throw?
No.
Well, we can have Xanthos come up and search now that it's safe.
Okie dokie.
Plus 1d4, and you have advantage as well.
It looks like a room with a mirror in it.
Nothing, no secret doors, nothing, no hidden mechanics in the mirror.
Nope.
No fancy pants nonsense.
Not that you can perceive with your natural 20 plus 9 plus D4.
Okay.
I could try casting banishment on the mirror, but that seems kind of random.
Yeah.
What if we touch the mirror?
Are you touching the mirror?
No,
Then you get sucked in.
Xanthos stop touching the mirror.
It is a theory, a conjecture, as it were.
I'm just asking.
Look, okay, trigger fingers, you need to slow your roll there, buddy. Chillax. You're like, what touches what? It's like
I didn't say anything was going to happen. It was just asking
Okay,
a question.
so another
No,
option. Another option is we could short rest. If the Samir is a magic item, we would identify it.
Well, the mirror is magic,
Definitely.
and we know it sucks people in.
Yep.
So I guess that's sucky magic.
Sucky magic.
I don't have any better suggestions aside from banishment and a short rest.
The heck was that? Someone making like a smoothie or something?
No, I'm
Not
playing
me.
with my marbles.
You're playing with your marbles. Okay.
Well, it's a good thing you haven't lost them.
As long as I keep them all.
Does anyone
Right.
have any better ideas than what I've suggested, or alternate ideas?
Well, I was gonna say, based on I'm thinking touching the mirror sounds dangerous.
I think you have to touch it to attune to it if you wanted to do such a thing.
Can we? Well, you can identify it without attuning to it, right? Otherwise,
You
Is it-
can cast an identify spell.
but I thought that like when you took a short rest, you got to learn about the magic items.
I
you have-
think you have to touch them to do that.
Well, I mean, I don't mind touching.
Yeah.
That's what it takes. Okay, so why don't we let's back up. First, let's back up so we're not all in range of the mirror. Let me grab a resistance from and
got it.
let's get Alfgar out of there as well.
Okay. Did I miss something? What are we trying to do?
Well, I'm about to take the covering off, and I don't want you to have to make another saving throw.
Oh.
Okay, so I'm going to remove the covering.
Okay, so you're looking into the mirror?
All
Or
right,
looking
I'm
at the
afraid
mirror,
so.
touching it? What are you doing?
I'm looking into the mirror.
Okay. Make a saving throw with advantage, please.
What kind of saving? Charisma?
Yep.
Okay.
It's just Icarus as far as I know.
Yeah.
Those rolls are awful. I do have a 1d4 coming. So 18.
Okay, you're good.
And we definitely don't see Zerhana in there, right?
You do not.
I'll call out to Zerhana. Maybe she can hear us.
Okay. You call it to Sahana. Sahana's image appears in the mirror.
Does it look like she's trying to speak?
Sahana, are you trying to speak?
Yeah, get me out of here.
There you
Get
go.
me
Can
out.
I can hear her.
Yes.
Zerhana, do you know how I get you out of there?
You do not.
No, I don't know.
I'll try. Would any sort of knowledge type check help in like recalling any sort of similar situation that I've heard about?
You could try and make an Arcana check.
Maybe Alfgar has heard about this. Alfgar, do you know anything about this mirror?
I know that I have advantages on saves. Yeah, an Arcana check, huh?
Yes. Never ask a sorcerer to make an Arcana check.
Clearly.
They do it based on natural whatever. Not yeah. They were born that way. It's like asking a baseball coach how he plays baseball so well. Or a baseball superstar. They just do.
Just hit the damn ball.
That's it.
I feel like there's probably some kind of code word or something. Okay, I'm gonna try. So I think we're still down to the banishment plus short rest option, but at least we know how to get Sohana to appear in the mirror. I'm gonna say 12. Does anything happen?
One second. Sorry. Right. No.
I'm gonna say the mirror holds 12.
Nope.
The mirror holds 1.
Nope.
The mirror holds Zerhana.
Well, that's true, but that doesn't do anything.
Free Zerhana.
Nope.
Release Zerhana. The mirror releases Zerhana.
Nope.
The mirror holds no one.
No, sorry.
If there's some kind of code word, maybe we would get it when we identify it.
You could try.
I could. Sirhana, what do you see where you are?
So Zahana sees that she is in a she can only see about 10 feet ahead of her, and that all around her is surrounded with thick fog.
Can she feel the floor beneath her feet?
Uh sure, she's standing on something. Sure, standing on, we'll say, like a fog thing. Sure.
What happens if she reaches towards me? Can she feel anything?
No, she's just reaching out. She can't tell
Okay.
nothing.
And she can see me, right? Or not?
She can. Sure, we'll say she can see you and you can communicate.
I mean, it was possible she could hear me but not see me. That's why I asked.
That's fine.
I still don't have any better suggestions. I'm gonna try casting banishment on Zohana to see if it'll get her back out of the mirror.
Cast banishment.
Like, I don't even know if I can target her with banishment, but it's like the closest thing I have to something useful.
Yeah, no, I understand. I'm gonna take a quick look at that spell because this is certainly a creative use for it.
Yeah.
You attempt to send a creature that you can see within range to another plane of existence.
So my theory was, if she's on a different plane of existence and gets banished, she'd come back to her native plane of existence.
The
'Cause
question is, can you really see her?
Well, yeah, I mean, this is totally questionable. Totally agree with that.
Yeah.
But the relevant
Right.
paragraph is, if the target is native to a different plane of existence than the one you're on, which she isn't, but she's maybe native to a different plane of existence than where she is, in which case maybe it would return her to her home plane. And if not, we're just going to take a short rest and try to identify the mirror.
um, I am going to say, I'm just going to read this one more time. 1 second. I just saw something about this and I can't find it. Give me 1 second to find the sentence I was looking for a few
Yep.
minutes ago.
Take your time.
Um, maybe it's in this one. I got two things up here. Okay, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. Blah, blah, blah. Um, so I'm with that. So let me just look this again. So it is 60 foot. You know what? I can't come up. I might Google this later, but I can't come up with a reason why that wouldn't work. You can see her. She is not on another plane of existence. She's in an extra dimensional cell, which means she is within the 60-foot range. She's in the mirror per se. She's not another plane of existence. You see her. The thing actually says that if you do a spell, if the person can do a spell that does planar travel, it would get her out. And in a sense, that's exactly what banishment does. So she's banished.
Okay, so where is she now?
So she's banished, and if the target is, but if the target is native to its plane of existence you're on, correct. But she is on the plane of existence that she is on by that same argument. So when the banishment ends, I think she would end up back in the mirror.
Well, so she's not in the mirror now, right?
Because but when you banish someone who's from that plane, they return from the point they banished or banished
Okay.
from.
Okay.
So
But she's not in the mirror right now.
she's not in the mirror right now. I will give you that.
Okay,
Right at this
so
moment, she is not in the mirror.
I can concentrate on this for a minute. And
Yes.
yep. And we could try to break the mirror in the meantime. I don't know. No, I don't know if that's a good idea or not.
Icarus is indecisive. What do you say, Xanthos and Ulfgar? You're the ones left.
Sure, why not?
So, because the banishment says the target when Zarana comes back, she'll reappear in the space that she left, or in the nearest unoccupied space if that space is occupied. Presumably, if that space no longer exists, she would return in the nearest unoccupied space.
Let's give it a shot.
Let's do it.
Okay.
All right.
We're going to try breaking
So
the mirror while I'm concentrating.
who's breaking the mirror?
I'll break the mirror. I'll
Oh.
take my axe and do a full Gimli on it.
Well, what are we waiting for? And goes after the One Ring. All right. So I'm going to say, let's see. Sure. We'll say you break the mirror. No problem. So you break the mirror, and a whole bunch of shit just starts like going into the room. So
coming into the room from the plane that.
yep, you can think of it falling it out of the mirror, right?
Right.
There is a there's a Cholton human. There is a.
Hey, wait! We found somebody to replace Orvex.
I guess in a sense you did.
Oh boy, that's dark.
So you have a Cholton human. You have a Minotaur. You have a troll. You have a drow. You have a human adventurer. You have a four-armed gargoyle, and you have a female Cholton warrior, and you have a sturge.
What's a sturge?
It's a bat-like thing.
It's a little blood-sucking bird-like creature.
Okay, so do you want to do this giant combat now in this tiny room, or do you want to do it next week?
Probably next week.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm thinking we call it here.
Because that's going to take some time.
Indeed.
Well, everybody's going to attack everybody.
Yeah,
Uh,
they should be happy that they got released.
well,
You would think.
I'm not saying they're all going to attack you. I'm just or what they're going to do, but stuff will happen, and I
Well,
figured there's a lot of stuff.
the Sturge is definitely attacking us.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay.
Well, this was exciting.
It was.
This was probably the most exciting session I've had. Just because I felt like I was gonna fucking die numerous times this entire round, and didn't. So I was like, great. So I could disappear like Seth. Okay. Oh no, we were holding on. All right, we're still fighting. Okay, dig it.